John, an ordinary man from California, is abducted by aliens while gazing at the stars in his backyard. He awakens aboard an alien spacecraft filled with beings whose survival depends on his choices. Forced into unimaginable dilemmas to save his life and Earth, John faces unprecedented ethical challenges. Can he navigate this treacherous path and uphold his moral values? If you want to dive into real stories of parallel realities every day, in enigmatic, technological worlds that are completely different from our planet, subscribe to our channel and leave your like. Well, let's go. What if your greatest asset was something you had always overlooked? Imagine human eyes seeing through alien camouflage, leading to cosmic revelations and unimaginable power shifts. Stay until the end to uncover how an alliance born from humility could reshape the galaxy. Are you ready to discover the secrets that could alter your perception forever? Asterisk. Scenario and character. On the edge of the Milky Way, in the floating titan of engineering known as the Spot Space Station, an unprecedented event was about to unfold. Draped in the cerulean light of distant stars, the station hummed with anticipation. A sprawling structure with glistening metallic spires and intricate pathways, the Spot Space Station existed as a beacon of technological innovation and interstellar diplomacy. Cold starlight streamed through the station's panoramic windows, casting a soft, ethereal glow that outlined the sophisticated elegance of alien architecture intertwined with human engineering marvels. Among those feeling a heightened sense of both excitement and anxiety was the alien scientist, Nira. Standing at 6 feet tall with delicate bioluminescent patterns shimmering across her lavender-hued skin, Nira exuded an air of calm intelligence. Her eyes, a deep violet, were sharp and observant, reflecting her inherent curiosity and dedication. She was adorned in a sleek, silver uniform that displayed her rank and achievements through an array of intricate symbols. Her team had toiled tirelessly on a new cloaking technology that could become the cornerstone of intergalactic subterfuge. Now, facing her biggest challenge yet, Nira prepared to meet 3 human visitors whose origins from a high-gravity planet endowed them with remarkable visual acuity. Their names were Todd, Jeremy, and Walker. Commander Todd led the trio, a man of imposing presence with a salt and pepper beard, his eyes sharp and constantly assessing his surroundings. His military background was evident in his robust frame and the authoritative way he carried himself. Jeremy, the technical expert, was a bespectacled man with an air of perpetual curiosity. His wiry frame belied the strength of his analytical mind. His specialty was in deciphering and enhancing advanced technological systems, making him indispensable to the team. Walker, an engineer known for his practical approach and calm demeanor, contrasted his teammates with a more restrained and calculated presence. His broad shoulders and firm stance spoke of both physical and mental resilience. As they entered the station's imposing atrium, their eyes immediately began scanning the surroundings. The walls pulsed with a soft blue glow, hinting at the advanced energy systems powering the station. The hum of technology was a constant, almost rhythmic presence that added to the aura of relentless progress and innovation. The room was filled with displays of holographic projections showcasing models of alien and human vessels, integrated defense systems, and other marvels of interstellar technology. Nira stepped forward, an air of confidence disguising her underlying anxiety. Her mission was clear: to impress these terrestrial emissaries and establish a bond that could fortify interspecies collaboration. She greeted them with a courteous nod, her voice carrying a melodic resonance as she spoke. "Welcome to Spot Space Station. It is an honor to host representatives from Earth. I trust your journey was uneventful?" Todd responded with a curt nod. "It was smooth, thank you. We are eager to see the developments your team has been working on." Nira smiled, a gesture meant to ease the atmosphere. "Allow me to introduce you to our latest innovation in cloaking technology." As they moved toward a large observation deck, the view shifted to reveal an array of space vessels. Nira activated a control panel, and suddenly, the hulking ships vanished, seemingly blending seamlessly into the starry background. Our cloaking technology, Nira began, is designed to render these vessels virtually invisible to any known sensor or visual detection method. But even as she spoke, Todd's perceptive eyes narrowed. He caught faint distortions, almost imperceptible flickers, that revealed the presence of the cloaked ships. An uneasy silence settled as the human visitors exchanged glances, the subtle cues of their expressions communicating a shared concern. Chapter 2. Conflicts and Challenges. The room grew tense as Todd, Jeremy, and Walker conversed in low, urgent tones. Nira sensed the shift. Her confidence waned as she keyed into their frustration. "There are inconsistencies," Jeremy finally spoke up, his voice tense with a mix of irritation and a desire to help. He pointed to areas where the cloaking field faltered, creating tiny ripples of distortion that their trained eyes could detect. Todd stepped forward, his gaze unwavering. "This technology, while impressive, has a critical flaw. Our visual acuity allows us to perceive things that others might miss. This could be a game changer, but right now, it poses a significant risk." Nira felt a pang of disappointment. Her years of hard work seemed to teeter on the edge of dismissal. She had not anticipated this. She had always believed in the superiority of numeric calculations over biological senses, and yet here stood these humans, their abilities challenging that notion. Despite the tension, something else simmered beneath the surface. The humans' interest wasn't entirely diminished. They remained engaged, curious even, drawn by the other technologies they saw as holding incredible potential. In an effort to salvage the situation, Nira decided to pivot. She guided them to a section of the station dedicated to other revolutionary technologies. "Perhaps you would be interested in seeing some of our other advancements," she suggested, trying to mask her anxiety. Chapter 3. Developments and Twists. As Nira shifted focus, she unveiled a suite of other technological marvels. Jeremy's eyes lit up at the sight of the new plasma cannons, his technical inclinations sparked. The cannons stood as towering, sleek instruments of power and precision, their energy cores pulsating like a heartbeat. The precision and destructive potential of these weapons held incredible promise, suggesting advancements in ways the Earth's military could scarcely dream of. Walker was impressed by the compact yet groundbreaking FTL, faster-than-light, propulsion system. A crystal chamber encased within a lattice of exotic materials that defied conventional physics. He marveled at its design, envisioning how such propulsion could revolutionize their own fleet's mobility, enabling rapid, short-distance jumps with unprecedented efficiency and reducing the predictable routes of travel that often led to ambushes. Their perception shifted. What was initially a trip to assess a single technology turned into a much broader opportunity. The newfound potential of these inventions could revolutionize their own technological capabilities, enabling swift movements and formidable powers that their own fleet sorely lacked. As they delved deeper into the possibilities, the apparent failure of the cloaking tech revealed a more potent, underlying asset of great strategic importance. Nira observed the evolving reactions of her visitors with cautious optimism. There was a distinct change, a transition from judgment to curiosity, from critique to collaboration. Chapter 4. Climax. Enter General CRNA, an alien commander whose arrogance was both his armor and his Achilles heel. Conflicts and Challenges. The atrium hummed with the soft, undulating sounds of distant machinery, a symphony of uninterrupted industrial prowess that layered the air with a palpable tension. Todd, Jeremy, and Walker, still reeling from their initial underwhelming introduction to the cloaking technology, found themselves in a tightly wound discussion. The core of the technology had promised revolutionary advancements, but what they encountered was a fundamental flaw, visible only through the trio's uniquely keen eyes. The room's ambient cerulean light bathed the assembled group, accentuating the sharp lines of Todd's furrowed brow and the steely resolve glinting in Walker's eyes. As sensors danced across their faces, rendering their conversation private yet intense, Jeremy's pointed finger traced across the holographic display. His voice was a practiced blend of technical critique and subdued frustration as he detailed the disparities he could perceive, which eluded even the most advanced scanners designed by Nira's team. Nira watched silently, the weight of the moment pressing down upon her. Her antennae twitched ever so slightly, a subtle signal of her internal disquiet. Could it be that her life's work could unravel in mere moments of human scrutiny? Todd's intense gaze never wavered, his voice resonant with authority and the hard-earned experience of countless missions. "This is unacceptable," he finally declared, the sharp edge of his words slicing through the air. Nira struggled to maintain her composure, the translator embedded in her cerebral cortex working overtime to keep up with the rapid dialogue and the underlying, unspoken nuances carried by the Earth-born tongue. The Coalition's expectations had been high. They had anticipated a flawless display of unparalleled alien technology, a seamless integration of otherworldly brilliance with the strategic advantages it promised. Instead, the detection of the camouflaged vessels by the humans' superior vision unraveled their anticipation like threads of a finely woven tapestry being pulled apart by unseen hands. "There's a fundamental oversight here," Jeremy interjected, his analytical mind racing. "Your cloaking technology bends light across a spectrum that we can still perceive. Its stability in other wavelengths only makes the distortions more apparent to our unique vision." Walker nodded in agreement, his demeanor stoic yet his mind alive with calculations. They saw potential as well as pitfalls. The severe challenge ahead was finding a bridge, a way to fuse the ingenuity of the alien concepts with the perceptive acumen afforded by humanity's evolutionary quirk. Despite the encroaching tension, another dynamic swirled within the room. The human delegates saw more than a failed demonstration. They observed a suite of otherworldly technologies that stirred a deep curiosity. Jeremy's engineer's eye glittered at the sight of the plasma energy converters, and Walker's analytic prowess took in the details of a jump drive schematic, both glimpsed as they toured the facility under Nira's guidance. This wasn't just a meeting about a single piece of tech anymore, it was a glimpse into a broader horizon of possibilities, one that could drastically reshape their own capabilities and strategies. They slowly began to shift their focus, looking beyond the immediate disappointment to the invaluable potential lying dormant within the station's advanced arsenal. Nira, though initially shaken, sensed this shift. Her initial anxiety gave way to a cautious hope. She adjusted her approach, unveiling with precise care a range of technological wonders designed to impress even the most skeptical of minds. Her fingers danced across control panels, activating various displays and simulacra, each depicting another piece of her civilization's technological prowess. Jeremy immersed himself in the technical blueprints of the new plasma weaponry, his fingers tracing complex circuits with an exhilaration that overshadowed his earlier frustration. Todd, always the strategist, envisioned the tactical applications of a new gravitational distortion array. Walker, meanwhile, delved into the intricacies of the FTL propulsion system, his mind whirring with the possibilities that short-range jumps could offer in fleet maneuvers. In these moments, the humans recognized the broader implications of the technology on display. These advancements could redefine their tactical doctrines, providing an edge against persistent interstellar threats. They communicated their interest with newfound vigor, bridging the delicate gap that had previously threatened to widen beyond repair. Nira seized this opportunity, addressing each query with methodical precision, her voice steady and clear. Despite the setback with the cloaking tech, she could feel the thread of mutual interest knitting back together, weaving an intricate tapestry of potentially groundbreaking collaborations. A subtle chime interrupted their focused engagement. Neera's eyes flicked towards the interface, an incoming transmission from General CRNA. The alien commander's visage materialized, his countenance a blend of regal authority and simmering impatience. Clad in the ceremonial armor of his rank, CRNA's presence dominated the screen. His eyes, cold and calculating, scanned the humans with an aloof air of condescension. Without allowing Neera a chance to caution or intercede, General CRNA announced his intention to personally demonstrate the camouflaged fleet. His hubris was a sharp contrast to Neera's cautious optimism. He dismissed their concerns with a wave of his hand, insisting on proving the superiority of their technology by infiltrating human territory undetected. His confidence, born of arrogance, would soon be tested against the harsh realities of human perceptual prowess. The preparations for the mission were swift and precise, the operatic orchestration of interstellar hardware aligning to the general's will. The avatar holograms of cloaked ships shimmered into being, casting ghostly outlines upon the atrium's walls. The tension thickened, every individual within the room acutely aware of the high stakes that now hung, precariously, in the balance. As General CRNA engaged the advanced cloaking protocols, his fleet dissolved into the backdrop of space. From the human perspective, the outcome was painfully predictable. Todd, Jeremy, and Walker monitored the biomechanical signals and energy signatures, tools evolving as extensions of their perceptive talents. Within moments, the human defensive grid detected the faint distortions, the whisper of displaced photons dismissed with fatal certitude by the paranoid sophistication of their scanners. With the precision of a masterstroke, the human forces responded. What ensued was swift and clinical. The general's vessel, despite its cloaked guise, was swiftly intercepted and neutralized by highly calibrated artillery. The silent scream of disintegrating matter echoed through the vacuum of space, a somber reminder of the unyielding limits of technological advancement against the sheer unpredictability of human evolution. Neera stood at the precipice of the atrium, her face a mask of pale disbelief as the implications of the disaster settled upon her. The once ceaseless hum of the station's machinery now felt like a dirge of mechanical sorrow. This was a moment that would redefine relationships, not through triumph, but through a shared recognition of vulnerability and strength. Thus, as the dust settled from the ill-fated excursion, a curious transition began taking shape. What could have spiraled into animosity instead gave rise to reflection. The atmosphere in the expansive atrium of the Spot space station had shifted palpably after the unsettling demonstration of the cloaking technology. Neera's confidence was visibly shaken, but her mind raced with alternatives. Relinquishing her stance on the flawed cloaking project, she directed Todd, Jeremy, and Walker to a different sector of the station. The trio followed, their expressions a blend of curiosity and guarded optimism. The faint echo of their footsteps matched the rhythmic hum of the futuristic vessel. They arrived at a vast hall, dimly lit with strategic spotlights highlighting an array of intricate machines. Neera glanced back at them, her lavender eyes shimmering with a renewed sense of purpose. She approached the first marvel, an advanced plasma cannon, mounted on an automated swiveling base. Jeremy's eyes widened, his inherent technical curiosity piqued. He stepped closer, his analytical mind already deconstructing the cannon's design from a distance. The plasma energy core, encased in a transparent vessel, pulsed with a steady rhythm, suggesting a near-limitless supply of energy. Beside him, Walker couldn't help but admire the sleek efficiency of the weapon's compact design, optimized for rapid reconfiguration and deployment. As Neera began explaining the intricacies of the plasma cannon, Todd observed the technology with a calculated intensity. His pragmatic outlook never wavered as he took in the implications of such power. Nira explained how the plasma cannon operated on a molecular level, ionizing gases made from rare extraterrestrial elements to create concentrated bursts of energy that could obliterate targets with pinpoint accuracy. Jeremy nodded, his mental wheels turning as he absorbed the technical jargon. While Nira continued her detailed exposition, Walker's attention was drawn to the far end of the hall. There, partially concealed behind a holographic display, was the compact FTL propulsion system that promised rapid, short-distance jumps. The system was unlike anything the humans had encountered before, relying on a stable micro-wormhole generator to achieve instantaneous travel without the need for the extensive calculations their own warp drives required. He called Todd and Jeremy over, and Nira followed their gaze to the propulsion apparatus. Her expression softened, sensing their intrigue and the potential for rekindling a sense of shared ambition. She elaborated on the FTL system's components, emphasizing its small size and efficiency. Todd's face, usually stoic, showed a glimmer of admiration as visions of the tactical advantages such a device could afford their fleet took shape. While the human trio examined everything with intense focus, a subtle tension still lingered from the earlier disappointment. The aliens' attempt to cloak themselves had failed, yet amid the breakdowns, hope resurfaced in technology that carried the promise of unimaginable power. The human delegation's perception of the mission began to shift. What appeared to be a dead-end meeting over flawed cloaking technology had morphed into a goldmine of innovation. Each piece of advanced equipment they examined revealed a facet of extraterrestrial prowess that hinted at immense practical applications for their own endeavors. It became clear that, beyond their initial objective, there was a wealth of untapped potential waiting to be realized. As the group delved deeper into the implications of these innovations, the air grew thick with possibility. The initial mission's scope had transformed. Now, it was no longer about a single piece of technology but an integration of diverse advancements that could reshape their strategic landscape. Jeremy ran his hands over the cool metal of the propulsion system, feeling the hum of potential beneath his fingertips. But it wasn't just the technology that captivated them. It was the realization that their own unique human faculties presented opportunities the aliens had overlooked. The ability to discern minuscule details, to perceive flaws invisible to others, transformed their disappointment into a growing sense of opportunity. As the day wore on, Todd, Jeremy, and Walker found themselves increasingly absorbed in the evaluation and understanding of the new technologies. They teamed up with Nira, who, despite the earlier setback, regained her composure and contributed her deep knowledge of these advanced mechanisms. Suddenly, the heavy doors of the hall slid open, accompanied by a sharp hiss, revealing the imposing figure of General CRNA. His presence filled the room, his confidence almost tangible as he strode forward. Standing tall, with an air of unquestionable authority, he exuded a pride that bordered on hubris. His uniform, resplendent with alien insignia and medals, indicated his high rank and past triumphs. Nira's expression tightened slightly as General CRNA approached the group. His skeptical eyes scanned Todd, Jeremy, and Walker before settling on the plasma cannon. He expressed his dissatisfaction with their earlier assessment, refusing to believe that human faculties could outmatch their advanced cloaking technology. General CRNA's obstinance was unsettling. Dismissing the humans' criticisms, he insisted on displaying the capabilities of his camouflaged fleet. He hadn't come all this way to be undermined. He had an empire to demonstrate the superiority of their latest advancements. In a move that was both bold and perilous, General CRNA ordered an impromptu demonstration. His plan was ambitious, foolhardy even. He navigated his flagship into human territory, intending to prove his point. The conference environment felt charged with energy. Nira, uneasy, exchanged a glance with Todd. Both understood the gravity of what was about to unfold, though from vastly different perspectives. The general's ship, cloaked under the same imperfect technology, initiated its journey. In the observation deck, the combined human and alien delegation watched through a vast window overlooking the galactic expanse. Todd, Jeremy, and Walker exchanged troubled looks, while Nira's askance gaze never departed from General CRNA. As anticipated, disaster struck swiftly. Human defensive systems, honed to detect distortions invisible to other species, identified the cloaked ship almost instantaneously. Automated turrets pivoted, locked on, and unleashed a barrage of plasma fire, vaporizing the flagship in a burst of volatile light. The monumental station shuddered slightly under the recoil of retaliatory fire. The silence that followed was heavy, laden with the shock of sudden loss and the gravity of exposed vulnerabilities. Nira, watching the explosion dissipate into the void, felt a cold wave of realization wash over her. The human's abilities transcended mere biological functions. They held a key to interpreting the cosmos in a way her species had entirely overlooked. Todd stepped forward, his authoritative presence filling the void left by General CRNA's catastrophic miscalculation. Walker glanced at Nira, his features softening in a rare show of empathy. Jeremy fidgeted, brimming with ideas on how to salvage collaborative potential from the wreckage of pride and hubris. Nira's mind raced through the implications as she surveyed the human's intent expressions. She saw not adversaries but potential allies, possessing attributes that, if combined with her technological expertise, could transcend their current limitations. The failure of their cloaking project illuminated an unexpected path forward. Summers of interstellar conflict and distrust could give way to a new era of mutual advancement. The pristine silence of the space station bore witness to a myriad of activities, a busy calm that belied the profound transformations taking root. The tension within the walls of Spot Space Station was thicker than any atmosphere the humans had encountered before. General CRNA stood resolute, a figure of authority and unshakable confidence. His tall, sinewy frame was offset by a series of interactive holographic interfaces that danced and flickered around his gaunt, alien visage. CRNA's presence had always been a galvanizing force among his subordinates. There was an unspoken belief that his past victories in interstellar skirmishes had imbued him with an almost divine touch of invincibility. His skin, a shimmering amalgamation of hues not seen in terrestrial biology, appeared almost as if bathed in liquid starlight. Piercing eyes that betrayed an inherent cunning flicked from one screen to another as he finalized the latest strategy. Nira, feeling a cold sweat bead upon her befurrowed brow, couldn't shake the sensation of looming disaster. Her scientist's intuition screamed at her, warning of the folly inherent in underestimating the human's capabilities. Though her skin was much paler than CRNA's, her austerely composed features were strikingly sharp, betraying an intellect driven by logic and compassion. Despite her subordinate position, Nira found the courage to interject. "General," Nira voiced, her tones steady yet impassioned, "the humans possess perceptual abilities we underestimated." The proposed demonstration might not unfold as expected. CRNA's eyes narrowed, a flicker of irritation crossing his otherwise stoic face. "Nira, your caution is appreciated, yet your lack of faith is misplaced. The technological suite we've developed is state-of-the-art. These humans are merely fortunate." His arrogance was palpable. For CRNA, this was not just about proving the cloaking technology but about reaffirming the dominance that his species held in this segment of the galaxy. Todd, Jeremy, and Walker stood observing from a distance. Their understanding of what was unfolding was clear. Todd's military mind calculated every possible outcome, grim lines of resolve etched into his face. Jeremy, with his technical prowess, seemed entranced by the burgeoning data streaming from the alien consoles. Walker, equally engaged, stayed glued to their communications network, ensuring that every possible defense mechanism was prepped and ready. With a flourish, CRNA initiated the cloaking sequence. His fleet, a formidable assembly of sleek, shadow-hugging vessels, shimmered and disappeared from visual and sensor grids. The battle plan unfolded with a chilling precision that seemed almost theatrical in its predictability. The human defense systems, however, were prepared. Cloaked ships are not, the human eyes, those deep, perceptive orbs capable of slicing through even the most sophisticated disguises, locked on. From Todd's vantage, it was almost disconcerting how clear the outlines of the camouflaged vessels remained. His mind raced through tactics, issuing orders with a cadence that brooked no hesitation. Suddenly, the stillness broke. Human defensive turrets, armed with the latest plasma LDV technology, hummed to life and unleashed blinding bolts across the void. The eerie blue of the alien cloaking devices flashed intermittently, marking targets unmistakably. Shots zeroed in with unerring accuracy, vaporizing cloaked ships amid spectacular conflagrations of superheated plasma. CRNA's face contorted in disbelief, shock seizing him like a vice. The realization was brutal in its simplicity. Their most advanced technology was powerless against the human vision. His bated breath echoed in the interface-filled room as reports of destroyed vessels poured in. The scenario was no longer an exercise but a tragically real demonstration of one fatal flaw. Neera's heart ached with the weight of the loss and the grim validation of her fears. The screen told the story in bright, burning embers as remnants of alien battalions disintegrated light years from their origin points. She glanced towards the human commanders whose determination remained unfaltered, the absence of joy or victory in their expressions subtly illuminating the shared burdens of war. For a moment, time seemed to cease. The cold calculus of interstellar politics hinged on the aftermath of this exchange. The survivors reconvened, with the flickering embers of destroyed ships casting long shadows over their assembly. CRNA's shame was a palpable entity. For him, this was not just a tactical defeat, it was a personal dismantling of pride and honor. Yet the humans did not gloat. Todd's voice cut through the tension with a terse, respectful invitation to engage in a collaborative dialogue. Understanding the need for rational resolution, CRNA swallowed his pride, an act so uncharacteristic that it warranted a moment of murmured admiration from his ranks. Neera, interceding as a voice of reason and compassion, laid forth new propositions. She suggested that their technologies could indeed coexist and complement each other in unforeseen ways, if only they embraced humility and intercultural synergy. The session that followed was unlike any before. Experts from both factions shared data, pooling their strengths to identify not just failings but opportunities of mutual gains. The expressions on everyone's faces transformed from suspicion to a cautious optimism. Discussions extended into the night cycles, as propriety gave way to fascination. Human and alien engineers sketched possibilities on shared digital canvases, merging plasma technologies with alien material science. Neera's mind opened corridors of speculative technoscapes while Jeremy and Walker envisaged quantum communication links that could fuse human resilience with alien ingenuity. Such collaborative efforts hinted at new frontiers, a design of localized wormholes that could drastically shorten supply lines and prolong the operational reach of defense fleets. Mixed perception arrays where human ocular prowess integrated with alien sensor enhancements began to take shape. These potential advancements promised a new epoch of interstellar exploration and defense. CEOs of corporatized space mining interests even began exploring joint ventures harnessing the cloaking tech for peaceful environmental adaptations on hazardous mining asteroids. The starkness of previous events, dulled by the bright exploration of future prospects, forged a newfound alliance tempered by hard truths and bound by collaborative hope. Eventually, silence once more enveloped the Spot space station, but now it was tinged with a quiet sense of resolve. The shared purpose was more profound than any single species' technological crowning. As stars twinkled in the backdrop, an implicit understanding bound the gathered minds to a singular, evolving destiny. Tomorrow held no guarantees. Failures would transpire and lessons would collide, but the union of their ingenuity and respect meant that the halls of Spot Space Station resonated with the timeless paradox of the cosmos. Unity born from adversity. Thus, the chapter closed not with tidy finality, but with an invitation. A tense yet optimistic invitation to await what the convergence of minds might yield next. Uncertainty's shadow cast far and wide, yet where it intersected with light, potential gleamed brightest. What if your greatest asset was something you had always overlooked? Imagine human eyes seeing through alien camouflage, leading to cosmic revelations and unimaginable power shifts. Stay until the end to uncover how an alliance born from humility could reshape the galaxy. Are you ready to discover the secrets that could alter your perception forever? Asterisk. Asterisk asterisk epic conclusion and life lesson. In the heart of the cosmos, the Spot space station floated in serene majesty, a beacon of intergalactic ambition. Its sleek, metallic form gleamed under the light of countless stars, a silent testament to both ancient and futuristic engineering prowess. Within its sprawling corridors and high-tech chambers, an intense atmosphere hung heavy with anticipation and uncertainty. The recent events had marked a turning point, one that none had foreseen, let alone prepared for. The alien scientist Nira stood before the assembly, her eyes reflecting a mixture of anxiety and resolve. Her team had worked tirelessly, pushing the boundaries of technology and scientific understanding. Yet, the development of the cloaking technology, initially heralded as a groundbreaking achievement, had revealed unforeseen flaws, particularly under the discerning scrutiny of the human visitors. Their remarkable visual acuity, honed by the conditions of their high-gravity planet, had laid bare the imperfections of what was once deemed impregnable. As Nira addressed the gathered dignitaries, scientists, and commanders from diverse alien civilizations, she recounted the pivotal moments: the unveiling of the cloaking technology, its trial and subsequent failure, and the tragic misstep orchestrated by General CRNA. The lessons learned were both humbling and enlightening. The superior cognitive and sensory abilities of the humans, once underestimated, had emerged as an invaluable asset. The failure of our cloaking technology was not a loss, Nira began, her voice steadying despite the weight of responsibility. It was a revelation, a call to rethink our approach and embrace the strengths that each species brings. What we perceived as weakness was, in fact, an opportunity for growth. Her words resonated through the assembly, triggering a ripple of contemplation and acknowledgement. Nira's journey from confident scientist to a harbinger of collaboration encapsulated the broader narrative that had unfolded within the confines of the Spot space station. This story was no longer just about technological advancements. It had metamorphosed into a tale of unity and respect across interstellar boundaries. The Galactic Courts, recognizing the profound implications of human visual capabilities, had convened to discuss the future of interspecies relations. What followed was an unprecedented move towards an alliance that valued and leveraged the unique attributes of each civilization. The humans, represented by Commander Todd, Jeremy, and Walker, showcased not just their resolute strength but also a willingness to engage and elevate the other species through shared knowledge and insight. In the ensuing months, the Spot space station transformed into a hub of cooperative innovation. The chambers that once echoed with solitary endeavors now buzzed with collective energy. Laboratories, workshops, and meeting rooms became melting pots of hybrid technologies, the melding of human ingenuity and alien superlatives. Plasma cannons that Jeremy had once admired were augmented with human precision targeting systems. Walker's fascination with the FTL propulsion mechanism led to the development of an even more sophisticated, multi-species integrated design. It was amidst this vibrant, collaborative setting that humanity and alienkind built something far greater than cloaking fields or weaponry. They forged alliances that transcended technological prowess, rooted deeply in mutual respect and understanding. The alliances sewed the fabric of a new galactic order, one less defined by dominion and more by shared purpose and vision. The potential for conflict was not eradicated, but the frameworks now existed to address disputes with diplomacy shaped by a recognition of shared vulnerabilities and strengths. The final scene of the chapter unfolded in a grand auditorium, where representatives from various interstellar factions gathered to witness the signing of a historic accord. The atmosphere was solemn, yet charged with hope. As Commander Todd stepped forward to ink the treaty, his eyes caught Nira's across the room, a silent affirmation of the journey they had embarked upon together. Nira, alongside Todd, Jeremy, and Walker, had become a symbol of what was possible when different species set aside their differences to harness their complementary strengths. They had turned a potentially fracturing moment of failure into a cornerstone of unity, birthing new paradigms of interstellar collaboration. As the parchment was signed, a wave of applause reverberated through the auditorium. The new alliance was more than just a political or military move. It was a profound reconfiguration of interspecies relations. It demonstrated that profound advancements and universal understanding could be achieved through humility, collaboration, and the acceptance of each other's unique attributes. The narrative did not end with the signing of the treaty. It hinted at countless possibilities, the merging of cultures, and the sharing of knowledge. Through shared endeavors, they would unlock the secrets of the cosmos together, each step forward illuminating the darkness of the unknown. In the expanse of space, the brightest lights often came from the most unexpected sources. And so, as the Spot space station drifted amid the stars, it stood as a symbol of a new dawn, one where the quest for technological supremacy gave way to the greater aspiration of companionship across the galactic tapestry. The journey had sparked an epic, universe-altering alliance that would echo through the annals of history, leaving a legacy of unity and shared greatness. The final words summarized the poignant moral of their journey. True strength lies not in solitary power but in the unity forged through mutual respect and collaboration. The cosmos, vast and enigmatic, had indeed revealed that the greatest revelations often stem from the most overlooked truths. Humanity and the alien kind, bound by their interwoven destinies, stood ready to face the challenges and mysteries of the universe, not as solitary voyagers but as trusted allies, forever altering the fabric of their shared existence. Stay with this story. It's now evolving beyond a mere exchange of technology into a symphony of mutual respect and epic, universe-altering alliances. For in the dark expanse of space, the brightest lights are often the unexpected ones. If you liked this story based on real events, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like it. Here you can dive into a different reality every day, where anything can happen. Comment below what kind of story you would like to hear here. Thank you very much for your attention. We are the Sci-Fi family.